It's by someone that we have not seen before, by the name of Light Shake. And Light Shake apparently created an air gun that will fuck you up. So, let's take a look-see, shall we? I am intrigued. Let's take a look.
What you're seeing wasn't caused by bullets or explosives, just air.
We have seen him before. I didn't recognize the name. This is the guy that made the quote-unquote invisible katana. I recognize his voice. I forgot that was his name, was Mike Shade. Okay, we have seen him before. Oh, he made a lethal air blaster. Okay, this is gonna be good. He makes some cool shit.
Air. I've always been scared of air. I mean compressed air. Every time I feel a car tire, I'm kinda worried it could blow up in my face. Maybe that's a bit dramatic, but if it actually happened, how dangerous would it be? To find out, I'm gonna make a device that can unleash 130 times the pressure in a car tire in milliseconds,
God!
and point it at a bunch of different targets to answer one question. How dangerous is pressure? But first, why does compressed air even explode? And well, it turns out, to understand that, all you need is a balloon. When you fill a balloon with air, the pressure inside of it builds higher than the outside. And when the rubber can't contain the pressure anymore, it tears, letting the air rush out of it extremely fast. The interesting part, though, is that the pop you hear doesn't come from the rubber tearing, but from the air itself.
No.
When the air escapes the balloon, it expands quickly back to normal pressure, and this sudden push creates a shockwave that makes the air around it vibrate. And that vibration is what causes the bang. Now, the pressure that builds inside a balloon right before it pops is about 1.5 psi. I wanna make it 5,000. To get there, I basically need to make a bomb, pressure releasing device, and I thought about two possible designs for it. The first one is the balloon. I would have to make a balloon that's about 4,000 times stronger than a normal one, and keep filling it with a special pump until it pops and creates an insanely strong explosion with a shockwave going in all directions. There is a problem with this design though. I could only use it once. The second option is a paintball gun, which to the core basically looks like this. An air tank with pressurized air and a valve. When you open the valve, all the pressure in the tank gets released into the atmosphere. In this case, I could reach about 4,500 psi of pressure, which is what most air tanks are rated for, and the pressure blast would also flow away from me. Now all this sounds relatively simple, but there is a problem with this system as well, and that's the speed at which the valve opens. A ball valve, which is the only kind I could find rated for very high pressures, opens gradually and slowly, which means only a fraction of the pressurized air will actually hit the target, because by the time the valve is completely open and all the air leaves the tank, the target would be most likely already out of range. Then, after a while, I found this, a super high pressure solenoid valve. It activates very fast. It can handle more than 5,000 psi, and I'm gonna pretend it doesn't exist. But then, I found something else. Something better. This is an air banger. It kinda looks like a pistol, and really looks...
Hang on, is this for divers? Why do I have the feeling that this is something used by divers? Like it's like used underwater for a sudden burst of air pressure. Kind of like a bang stick. Oh, is it an actual self-defense air gun? Okay.
It's like a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun, but it's not. And I gotta clarify that for the secret agent that is about to knock on my door. It's not even classified as a weapon, because it doesn't fire anything. It doesn't have barrels, and it doesn't use gunpowder or explosive. It's basically just a very powerful air compressor. Its purpose is to create a loud explosive sound for training, alarms, or distress signals. Now, these two red tubes are air cartridges, and each one of them can hold up to 5,000 psi of compressed air. And again, that's about 130 times the pressure in a car tire. Each. Moreover, they release the pressure in milliseconds when you press the trigger, and you could even fire them both at the same time. So if pressure could be dangerous at all, this is the right device to test that. Inside the box, you get the blaster, the two 5000 psi cartridges, and these small discs called rupture discs, which are the key to understand how all the mechanism works. These metal cartridges are basically a tube. On the front, there is a sort of pin, and on the back, we insert a rupture disc this way. Now, when I fill the cartridge, the pressure can't escape, because the valve in the front stays closed, and the rupture disc is intact and blocks the exit. Then, after pressing the trigger, the hammers hit the back of the cartridge and break the rupture disc. And what happens next is pretty fascinating. Since the back of the cartridge is not sealed anymore, a little bit of pressure flows out of the back where the disc broke. This tiny pressure differential though is enough to create a negative pressure behind the front valve. There's basically nothing that pushes the front valve from the inside and keeps it closed. And so atmospheric pressure is now enough to push it and open the valve. At this point, all the pressure in the main chamber quickly rushes out from the front, causing the insanely loud blast of pressure. So let's try it. To fill the cartridges.
Okay, oh, I was about to ask, how do you fill that? He's about to get into it.
Blast of pressure. So let's try it. To fill the cartridges up to 5000 psi, you can't just use a normal compressor. Mine, for example, can only reach 120 psi. So to do that, you gotta have a PCP pump, with which it would take a while, or a PCP compressor. I have one, but I never used it. And it clearly says here this thing could explode if not used properly, but that shouldn't be the case because I've watched a YouTube tutorial. First, I gotta place a new rupture disc into the center of the cap, and then screw the cap back on. At this point, I can screw the fill adapter to the front of the cartridge, and then connect it to the compressor. Now that was easier than expected. It just took 50 seconds, and right now, the cartridge is loaded. The last step is arming the trigger hammer, like this, and set the safety toggle on. There is my granny in the other room, probably. I'm gonna tell her to go away.
There's about to be a loud boom, Granny.
Single shot mode. I don't know what to expect. Like, no idea.
Civics!
What?
Holy civics!
What? So it definitely did something to the box. And the banger also has a lot of recoil, which I wasn't expecting. And by the way, that was single shot mode. Okay, I got another shot. Do I need to cock it?
I mean, yeah. This would make for a fan-fucking-tastic home defense gun. The problem is you gotta be really close to use it. This is not a distance self-defense tool. You've probably gotta be within 1 to 2 feet for it to actually be effective. So, granted, the sound alone, yeah, and that's where I was going, Blade. The sound alone on this would scare the fuck out of someone. You get a bad guy that breaks into your home, set it to single shot, and just fire it, they're gonna think a shotgun blast just went off, and they will
blast it out the ass of the table. It completely blew its ass out.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, JRC. But yeah, the sound alone would scare the fuck out of anybody that came in there. You fire one barrel, that'll scare the shit out of them. If the one barrel doesn't work, you just get close to them and draw and pull the trigger on the second barrel with them. And that'll finish the job. The one problem is filling it. That's the one problem is you need to have that very particular kind of compressor to actually fill the thing, and not everybody has one. So that's the one downside of it is you need an actual special piece of equipment in order to make it a viable home use if you ever have to use it more than once. That's the downside to it, because I doubt you can take it somewhere locally to just fill it up.
Added tungsten ball bearing. Hee.
Very funny, Kanito. Now, and honestly, you wouldn't be able to put it anywhere. that what's in the barrel, there's not enough, room in the barrel to put any kind of a quote unquote round. And plus it would turn it into a firearm because now it's actually deploying a round. And guarantee you that this exceeds air guns, airsoft guns in terms of FPS. So.
Back though. Yeah. Oh, there is a mosquito. There is a mosquito. No. Okay. Let's try it here.
God.
Jeez.
Jesus.
It's so fun. Also, if I pause the video here, you see the banger is literally shooting a stream of air. So it's gonna be very interesting to see that in ultra slow motion. Anyways, let's begin with the test. As usual, I've got a few different targets I'm gonna test the blaster on. And I'm gonna start with a smoke bomb. The reason for that...
Dragon Trucker? I don't know about... what is the PSI of a semi-truck tire? Because he said his whole purpose for this was to create an explosion that would be 130 times the PSI of a standard car tire. What's the PSI of a semi-tire? Like, I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Like, so 85 to 130 PSI per tire. So this is higher. This is higher. This is by a factor of what? By a factor of 50. This is higher. By a factor of at least 50. This is higher PSI than a semi-truck tire.
Is because I want to see how the air behaves when you shoot the blaster, and the smoke should help us visualize the pressure blast, especially in ultra slow motion. After that, the classic watermelon and pumpkin, then a brand new iPhone 16. We're gonna get there.
Good question, Shadows. Good question. I don't know.
A concrete block and a ballistic dummy head. All right then, let's start with the smoke. Also, for
actually, you know what? I'm gonna say that the hearing damage is comparatively less than a firearm. Because with a firearm, you're getting that sharp explosion. Well, obviously, this is not quiet. I don't think, my first blush thought is I don't think that firing this will actually cause, like, tinnitus. I don't think you're going to get the tinnitus effect from firing this because it's not as high of a pitch. The sound of the sound of a regular bullet going off is a much sharper and higher pitch, and I also think it's significantly louder than the compressed air. This is going to be loud, to be sure, but it will be less than that of a standard firearm.
This test and all the next ones, I'm gonna shoot both cartridges at once. And even though the wind decided to censor my shot from the slow motion camera, I can tell the power of this thing in double shot mode. It's absolutely insane. Since I have 3 smoke bombs, I'm gonna use them all to try to get the best slow motion shot.
Oh wow!
This time I managed to get the shot, even though the light is not the best. And it turns out, the smoke is not that useful, because the stream of pressure is perfectly visible by itself. Did you see that? It is an actual
Holy
stream of air.
shit!
It's tight. It's like a laser. It's so cool. Now I have one last smoke bomb, so I'm gonna try one more time to give you a better angle with the slow motion camera.
It literally just cuts right through it. Like, watch this. It literally just cuts the smoke in half. Look at that. It literally just cut it in half. Purple one? Okay, we'll do the purple one frame by frame. Okay. Yeah, look at that. It literally will, it just cuts right through it. right fucking through it. Holy shit. That is insane.
Alright, that's the shot I was looking for. Next up, we've got a watermelon.
Silver, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. I don't need to wait till editing. I saw it now. Dwah!
Do you think it's gonna punch a hole in it, or it's gonna blow it up? That's right. Let's see what happens to this watermelon.
Yeah, holy. Holy shit! God damn! Scott? You need to get one of these for watermelon time. Scott, if you watch my channel, if you watch my YouTube videos, I'm telling you, Scott, get one of these for watermelon time. Please. God, it floured it. It fucking floured it.
Well,
No! Cortanus, this thing doesn't use lead slugs. This thing is pure air. There's no rounds involved in this. This is strictly air. There's absolutely no rounds. We actually saw him put the thing together. There's, like, that's the whole point about this. It's not a firearm because it doesn't fire any rounds whatsoever. This is 100% air. That's it. That's all that's coming out of this thing. They might make some. They might make some that fire rounds, but the one he's using is pure air. You've looked at this and I believe in the stream chat. Well, I mean, Cortanus, we saw him working with it in his workshop. There was no rounds involved in it. So I don't know. Maybe there's a model that does use that does use lead slugs. It's not the one that he's using.
I wasn't really expecting that. And I'm not talking about the fact I have watermelon all over my body. I'm talking about the violence of that impact. He launched pieces of watermelon 20 meters away from the table, and the bits that came back towards me actually hurt. This thing is amazing. Anyways, the next target is gonna be a pumpkin. Alright, from now on I'm gonna try to stay a little bit further away from the targets. Because even though I kinda like the watermelon shower, I certainly wouldn't want to do that with bones. Let's see what happens to the pumpkin.
Yeah. It hollowed the damn thing out. Holy shit. Like, look at this. It hollowed the damn thing out. Look, you can look at the size of the hole it put through it. God.
But that didn't change much. Anyways, the next target is gonna be a brand new iPhone 16. And the reason I'm doing that is because this video is supported by Rhino Shield. I promised them I was gonna properly test their brand new case, RX. I just didn't tell them I was gonna blast it with 5,000 PSI of compressed air.
My God! Oh no!
But I mean, if the phone survives, it means the case is really worth it. Now, there are a few reasons why I think this case can actually save the phone. The Rhino Shield RX is built with a multi-layer internal damage protection
That
system
time.
that absorbs up to 81% of the impact. That means not just the screen, but also the internal components of your phone stay safe. Rhino Shield even created their own G-Force test simulator, basically lab-tested proof that this case prevents hidden damages. And about durability, RX survived over 24,000 tumbles without cracking. That's about 30 times longer than the industry standard. Plus, it's a 360-degree cushion design for all-around protection, and it's also fully recyclable thanks to its monomaterial build. And all this sounds absolutely great, but will it survive 5,000 PSI? That's right. I could have just dropped it a few times. All right. That's it. I'm gonna
He's
stay
thinking
a little
about
bit
it.
further away, all right? Just allow me that, like here. Allow me that. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Bye.
1. Oh.
God. You gone. It's gone.
That was bad. That was bad. I already know it was bad. All right. Let's go check it out. So, the tripod.
That's
is
the tripod.
I don't know what happened. That's the phone.
There it is.
It was there. Now it's here. Oh. Wait a second.
Holy shit! Oh my god! It survived and it works? Wait. Holy crap, wait, hold up, did we just get raided? Did we just get raided over on Kick? No, it doesn't look like it. Holy crap, okay, everyone on Kick who's just like the million people that just followed me on Kick. Thank you for the follows. It didn't look like we got raided. Wow, thank you for all the follows over on Kick. Wow. Like, yeah, no kidding. We always need shut up and take my money. Like, this thing took a 5,000 PSA blast point blank and survived. Whether he intended to or not, this is like he just made a huge selling point for this phone. Or for this phone case. Holy crap. 5,000, did I say PSA? PSI. PSI. Yeah.
Oh no way, it actually works. Man, after feeling that shot, I was not expecting the phone to be in one piece.
Yeah. Damn.
This is a great case. It's a great case. The phone seems perfectly fine. Let's check it out. Yep. It's...
You don't think this is the same phone that he shot Rygat? I don't know. Honestly, I can't see him doing some fuckery. And basically putting a second phone with the case out, to say, hey, look, it works. I don't know. Well, I don't know. It's like I can't see him pulling a game like that. We saw the impact. We saw how far it launched it. I think it was. I'm inclined to think it was legit. I'm inclined to think that was legit, and that the phone and that the phone survived. Now, I will say one thing in the phone's favor is that it is that the that it was on that lightweight tripod, so it didn't have a lot of resistance against the air like we saw with the pumpkin, like we saw with the watermelon. There was not a lot of weight facilitating, gravitational resistance when all of that air hit. This thing is very lightweight. The tripod looked like it was very lightweight. And so there was no gravitational weight resistance to the air. And so the air blast carried it. So it may not have actually taken the full blast, so to speak, and it took the initial brunt of it, and then the remaining air carried it away, and so it didn't have that opposing resistance for the air to fully impact against. Perhaps that could be maybe why it may not be damaged. So it's possible it may not have taken the full 5,000 psi because the blast threw it. And so, therefore, it didn't actually experience the full impact. That is for that reason, that's certainly possible.
Completely fine. It's perfect. It's perfect. And I mean, the case has a little bit of damage on it, but nothing crazy, like scratches. And obviously the phone still works perfectly. Shout out to Rhino Shield. You can get one of these
exactly,
by checking
Black
out Rhino
Wolf.
Shield. Moreover, you can use my code MikeShake for 10% off at the link below. Alright, now I really want to see what happens when you shoot a ballistic gelatin block with this thing. You probably know it at this point. Ballistic gelatin should represent muscle tissue. So to find out if pressure could
Here we
be
go.
lethal, it's gonna be interesting to see what it can do to this block. Alright, ballistic gelatin.
Here we go.
Let's try this.
Well, that definitely cavitated. Nice shockwave. So the shockwave, okay. So it didn't penetrate. Okay, so we got no penetration, but we did get a significant amount of cavitation right there. So you had a significant cavitation. So yeah, it's not going to penetrate, but you are going to see, look how much it's going to, push in, and then the shockwave rippling through, that could damage your internal organs. That absolutely could cause internal injuries. Especially, say if it happened at, the chest. If on a human analog, this was done at the chest area, it could cause an arrhythmia. Or it could cause a full-on arrest. Yes, that's where I was going, Zeb. It could cause a full-on arrest of the heart. It could cause other internal organs to flat-out rupture. So, I'd still classify as this could potentially be lethal if used against a person. Look at, that shockwave running through. Yeah. That could cause significant internal injuries.
Wow! Oh my god, I felt that. There is no visible damage on the gelatin, even though from the slow motion camera you can see the shockwave penetrated quite a bit. So this gets me very curious about what's gonna happen to the ballistic dummy head. Because that one has bones. The sun is about to go down anyway, so I'm gonna try that one right now. If I had to place a bet, I would say the zombie is about to disappear. The problem is that, since I'm scared of ricochets, I'm hiding behind the panel. And the first shot, I actually managed to miss.
Made his nose wiggle, though. That made his nose wiggle.
Again. This time, basically point blank.
peeled the skin off, but it didn't break bones. Yeah, it
My
did.
barber, when I say I just want to shorten my hair a little bit.
Yeah, it degloved it, but it didn't fracture.
Blast of pressure basically separated the gelatin from the bones, but the zombie skull is perfectly fine.
Is this the year? Yeah.
Thank you, Rygat.
That's the year. Ugh.
And even though this shot would have definitely hurt, like a lot, do you think it would have been lethal? Well, I don't think it makes sense shooting the concrete block, so instead, I'm gonna shoot the dummy a second time, just to be 100% sure that this kind of pressure can't actually crack bones.
Is that a... No, okay. No, looks like it didn't fracture.
And well, the pressure wave kinda separated the skull from the neck, but it didn't punch through the bone. So, pressure could certainly be dangerous, but when it comes to a car tire, which has 130 times less pressure than this blaster, I would probably be fine. Right now, I'm working on a project that is gonna be very, very cool. It's kinda my first prototype. If you wanna see that, subscribe. And also, leave a like, so I know you enjoy this stuff. Thank you for watching.
That was fucking cool. That was awesome. And honestly, kind of base for home defense. I can see that being really effective for home defense. I like it.